The Starcruiser is closing. We all predicted that this was an eventuality, but I don't think many of us expected that it had happened this soon. This blip in theme park history will likely go down as Disney's most successful failure. An experience that was universally praised by critics and guests alike for raising the bar on themed entertainment, but one that never managed to gain the momentum that it needed to survive. So what happened? And why in a few months will no one else be able to enjoy my favorite themed entertainment experience I've ever had? For Disney, this might feel like deja vu. The company has a history of trying to recreate the success of its theme park business on a smaller scale. Disney Quest was their most well-known attempt at this, a hybrid of an arcade and theme park. The Disney Quest project was designed as a way for the Disney brand to reach the populations that may not have the chance to travel to its various theme park destinations. The first was constructed and opened in June of 1998 as part of a major expansion of the downtown Disney Entertainment District at Walt Disney World. The following year, they opened up a second Disney Quest in Chicago, with additional plans to expand to Philadelphia and Baltimore. Despite these ambitious plans though, the concept failed to resonate with guests. Just 2 years after opening, the Chicago Disney Quest closed its doors, and any future expansions were put on hold. Walt Disney World's Disney Quest would continue to chug along as an additional oddity for the resort until 2017, when it was announced that it too would be closing. As guests said goodbye to Disney Quest in 2017, the Starcruiser was just beginning its voyage. In April of that year, Disney contracted the website Swagbucks to survey visitors in order to gauge interest in a possible Star Wars hotel. The survey gave a lot of specific information about the experience, such as the proposed hotel not just being a place to rest your head after a day in the parks, but an all-inclusive 2-night immersive resort experience. The survey teased integration with the upcoming Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, lightsaber training, personalized stories and secrets, a pool, an onboard cantina, and robotic droid butlers, alongside the retrospectively quaint price of $900 to $1,000 per person. Many were thrilled by the idea, and as a result of the survey, Disney approved the concept. At the 2017 D23 Expo, plans were announced to the public for the Galactic Starcruiser, as part of 23 improvements and additions coming to Disney parks around the world. The following D23 Expo in 2019 gave us even more information. The Starcruiser experience was revealed to take place on a ship known as the Halcyon. Much like the survey suggested, it would be a 2-night immersive experience, where all the guests arrive and depart together, similar to a cruise line, but without ever leaving the land. All of this was planned to open just a couple of years after Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in 2021. Despite many being thrilled by the idea and the survey, as more information was revealed over the years leading towards its opening, the public's reception became split on the concept. There were those who were eager to experience this new form of themed entertainment, but many were beginning to become skeptical of the idea, especially once pricing was announced. The timing didn't help either. Disney had a rocky experience through the pandemic, and their public image was wavering under the guidance of CEO Bob Chapek. The idea of charging for a multi-$1,000 luxury experience, whilst many cast members were still furloughed and much of the world was recovering from COVID-19, left people feeling like the idea no longer had a place in the post-pandemic world. Likewise, leading up to the opening, Disney struggled to market the Starcruiser. Sneak peeks and reveals were often received with harsh criticism, with many noting that the quality of what was being shown simply didn't match up with the price they were asking for. March 1st, 2022. The first sailing departed for the virtual stars. Skeptics and believers alike waited with bated breath as the first voyagers returned to the real world to give their opinions. The reception was unanimous. Those that left the Halcyon evangelized the experience, as not just one of the best Disney creations of all time, but one of the best themed entertainment offerings ever. But in September of 2022, in the wake of a dramatic hurricane that ravaged Florida, I was given the opportunity to experience the Galactic Starcruiser. I've had the luxury of visiting over 50 theme parks worldwide and riding countless attractions. Would my opinion match up with the others? Spoilers here, but oh god, yes. For my 30th birthday, my fiancée bought me and her a trip on the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. For me, I'm their ideal target demographic. I love Star Wars. My entire existence can be summed up as, he's that themed entertainment guy, and I'm a sucker for escape rooms and immersive theater. So it's probably unsurprising to hear that the Starcruiser was the greatest thing I've ever done in the realm of themed entertainment. The 2-day immersive offering was unlike anything I've ever experienced before, and likely will ever experience again. Of course, a potential issue with the Starcruiser straight up was that you only got out what you put in, and it's a lot of money to not get much experience. But interacting with characters unlocked the stories for you. Dressing the part essentially made you a magnet to the characters, and we had countless one-on-one interactions with the performers. We helped Sandro write a song that was played at the closing ceremony of the event. We helped Wraith Cole, aka Joe Rhodey's doppelganger, heist a gem from the ship, and a whole lot more. For us, one of the most incredible moments was the Jedi holocron featuring Yoda. In a room of only a handful of people, you couldn't help but get emotional at the build-up and payoff for this event. And unlike in Galaxy's Edge, here they actually used the music from Star Wars, utilizing the Force theme to play on all the emotions you had as a child, wishing you were a Jedi. These small moments that blended storytelling, theater, and technology were the highlight of the 3 days. The major storyline we followed was helping Wraith Cole, the manager for the intergalactic superstar singer Gaia. This entire storyline started because we happened to tap our magic band on a scanner next to an information panel. This storyline took up a large portion of our time on board, and we could have completely missed it if we didn't scan our band. The storylines were so dense and deep that you could go back multiple times and experience completely different things. Every other guest we interacted with on the cruise was having an amazing time. Yes, even the parents who were mostly there for their kids. I'm usually not the most outward person when it comes to meeting and interacting with new people, but embodying a character, Lucian from Bespin, allowed me to interact with people seamlessly, both characters and other guests. But already on our cruise, just 6 months after opening, things look worrying. Our cruise was relatively quiet, probably only around 50 to 60% capacity. We had the later dinner service and we were sat here, with both of us facing the stage and another couple further down the table, meaning our table created for 12 people was only seating 4. The hotel only has 100 rooms as it is, so whilst it was a great thing for us because we got to experience a quieter ship, we could always find a great seat at the bar and had more one-on-one interactions with the performers, they were already clearly struggling to fill the Halcyon. The biggest props for the experience have to go to the staff though, and not just the performers who all did an incredible job personally learning about and interacting with our characters, but every single cast member aboard the ship exuded the Disney difference and magic. They were all in character, all happy to help, and on more than one occasion made small magical moments for myself and my partner that we won't ever forget. I'm sad that you guys won't get to experience the Starcruiser for yourself, but I'm even sadder for the cast who will lose their jobs. But if you do want a more detailed breakdown of my personal experience aboard the Halcyon, be sure to check out our episode of ReviewTyme's theme park cast on the Galactic Starcruiser. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts. The upcoming closure leaves us asking, what went wrong? And I think we can boil it down to a few poignant issues and image crises that they couldn't push past. First is the timeline. Online, you will see many complaints from people who chose not to do the experience because of when the story is set. which is between episodes 8 and 9. But in reality, the sacred timeline is barely relevant. The Halcyon has its own story, and the timeline isn't really important except for one of the potential storylines where you help Rey and the big finale moment between Rey and Kylo. Other than that, if you can pretend these stormtroopers are wearing different helmets, you genuinely wouldn't know where in the Star Wars story the hotel is set. And the whole idea is that you created your own story. But much of this wasn't clear, which leads us to the second potential issue, the marketing. The Galactic Starcruiser is like nothing anyone has ever experienced before. So how do you market that to guests? According to Disney, the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is a revolutionary 2-night experience where you are the hero. You and your group will embark on a first-of-its-kind Star Wars adventure that's your own. It's the most immersive Star Wars story ever created, one where you live a bespoke experience and journey further into a Star Wars adventure than you ever dreamed possible. Which is a whole lot of words that don't really say anything. I've experienced the Starcruiser. I loved it. And I'd struggle to concisely describe and explain what it is in the amount of time you'd normally have in a commercial. Combine that with the fact that, as guests, we're used to being bombarded with flashy words that mean very little. How is the above any different from Rise of the Resistance's description on the Walt Disney World website, which advertises itself as a thrilling, first-of-its-kind adventure where the Resistance needs your help for a secret mission? Both of these pretty much say the same thing, but one of them is included in theme park admission, and another one of them is $5,000. The difficulty in selling and marketing this experience also comes down to the core idea itself. Star Wars is the third highest grossing media property of all time, behind only Pokemon and Mickey Mouse and Friends. So there's no doubt Star Wars is popular. Disney saw this as a guaranteed home run. They already had plans for a second Starcruiser to open up in Paris to connect their Walt Disney Studios Star Wars land, which itself is currently in limbo. But how many people want a multi-day role-playing interactive experience in the middle of an already overwhelming Walt Disney World vacation? The Starcruiser was created for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of people. You had to be a Star Wars or themed entertainment fan, then be able to afford a trip to Walt Disney World, and then be able to afford and take time out of your Orlando vacation to experience it. Statistically, the numbers were against them. And if marketing couldn't convince the ultra-wealthy that this was worth it, then there was no saving it, despite the consistent heavy praise from guests. And of course, that is the final elephant in the room, the exorbitant costs. The entire experience for 2 people started at $4,800. For a lot of people, as soon as they heard this was the price, they tuned everything else out to do with this experience. Though for that price, everything but alcoholic drinks was included. It's expensive, don't get us wrong, but compared to things like concierge on the cruise lines, it's not as expensive as that. And those sell out, with 76 concierge cabins on the Disney Wish alone. Unfortunately, cruises as a concept kind of sell themselves, where an intergalactic cruise on the land doesn't really. Discounts for annual pass holders, DVC members, and cast members show that even at that price range, it wasn't popular enough. And the fact that they decided to close the whole project rather than offering discounts to regular guests suggests that this thing may not have run at the ridiculously high profits you might expect. For every cast member you saw on stage, there would have been others backstage making it all happen. The technology behind the experience alone is mind-blowing to think about. After starting discounting and limiting the number of cruises to just a couple per week, the writing was on the wall. The cruise of September 28th to 30th, 2023 will be the final one that the Halcyon sails. 18 months after first opening, the Starcruiser will be closed. Disney's official statement is that the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser is one of our most creative projects ever and has been praised by our guests and recognized for setting a new bar for innovation and immersive entertainment. This premium boutique experience gave us the opportunity to try things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms. we will take what we've learned to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans. The timing is not coincidental. October 1st is the start of a new financial year for Disney. We've seen them close and cut a lot of things over the years in the last week of September due to cost cutting, which suggests that this thing was barely breaking even or even losing money with the limited attendance in recent months. Online, there are lots of people calling for it to be turned into a regular Star Wars themed hotel or offer day trips from Batuu to eat, drink, and shop here. But what Disney will actually do is a mystery. Will they want a daily reminder to guests of the failure of this thing, or will they quietly write it off on tax? The Starcruiser currently isn't remotely set up to be a regular hotel. This was ground up designed for the experience. The rooms are small because you don't spend that much time in them. If you stripped away everything to just make it a hotel, it'd be a disappointing one. Could it become a hireable space perhaps for weddings and events? We don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see. Lots of people online are laughing at Disney for the failure, but they took a risk, a creative and unique risk. And that's something we've been seeing less and less from Disney lately. People have grumbled that Disney's service levels have dropped over the years, but this was Disney's most service and guest experience focused project in decades. Let's hope they learn from the pricing of it and not write higher guest experiences off as a failure. All in all, it's rumored that this project cost upwards of $1 billion. The R&D costs alone would have been astronomical. The test and adjust phase where they fine-tuned everything with the performers and cast was 6 months in itself. Let's hope it all just doesn't go to waste. Some of the tech would be amazing if brought to Batuu. Interacting with characters who know your story was a selling point for the land, but it got cancelled due to budgetary reasons. Now that the Starcruiser paid to develop that technology, let's hope it isn't fully lost. The project should have depreciated over 30 years, but now they're writing that cost off just 18 months after opening. With this and Harmonious, Disney has some very high profile and expensive failures in recent years. But over to you. Are you upset that the Starcruiser is closing? Did you ever get to experience or wish that you could have? Let us know down below. For ReviewTyme, I'm Lucian from Bespin. Thanks for watching.